Return to the field. Score the winning shot. Beat your personal record. Team up with MUSC Health Sports Medicine for all your sports-related injury care and rehabilitation. MUSC Health is the official sports medicine provider for your favorite local teams. From semi-pro athletes to weekend warriors, our sports medicine team provides state-of-the-art injury prevention, treatment, surgery, and rehabilitation for athletes of all ages. Go where the pros go. Schedule an appointment today.
It is not just a fragrance. It is a passion.
This is Pocket Full of Sand. Hey, I think I'm in the wrong commercial.
Wait, aren't you Andre?
No, I'm Shane.
Oh, you're supposed to be in a Bud Light commercial.
Oh, that makes sense.
If you're here, Andre is...
Something is different about you, man.
Now, it's been a few weeks, but the College of Charleston women's soccer team finally back home, and we've got a good one as they take on the 17th ranked Wake Forest Demon Deacons out of the ACC. Really, perhaps the final of what's just been a gauntlet of an early schedule for the College of Charleston. It's a beautiful evening, sun setting here at Ralph Lundy Field in Mount Pleasant, just across the river from Charleston. So the Cougars 1-2-1. They went 1-1-1 on their long 3-game road trip. Took them to Texas for a couple games. Wake Forest comes in at 4-1. And let's take a look at the players to watch for Wake Forest. It's going to be the goalkeeper, perhaps the star of their team, Valentina Amaral. This season off to a great start. 13 saves already in 5 games and just 0.4 goals allowed per game. 4 out of 5 games, she's posted a clean sheet. And for the College of Charleston, we'll go right to their goalkeeper, Ainsley Chunt. Her first year as the full-time starter, and so far she has been terrific. Just an amazing debut against South Carolina, and she really just started from there and just took off. Did concede 3 goals against Texas, but other than that has allowed 1 or fewer goals every game. So we got 2 pretty good goalkeepers today. And it's going to be an interesting matchup. Now the rest of the starters for Wake Forest after Amaral are going to be Addison Roberts, Brooke Miller, Rachel Wright, Lola Resler, Allie Flanagan, Sierra Sight, Hannah Johnson, Carly Wilson, Kylie Maxwell, and Lainey De Natale. For the College of Charleston, after Chun in goal, it's going to be Lily Ray, Bubbles Deber, Caroline Foltz, Emma Stankunas, Bella Antonio, Emma Wenner, Avery Nacetta, Faith Slimmer, Maggie Heffernan, and Caitlin Tubia. There have been a few changes here and there over the course of the games for both of these starting lineups. So it's going to be interesting to see this game. I think there's a couple of things to give the Cougars hope that they can compete with this team. The fact that they've already played 2 ranked teams this season. They played South Carolina very well. Looked like they might have a chance to squeak out a scoreless draw until the final 10 minutes when the Gamecocks were able to get one through. Then against Texas, they did lose 3-1, but able to score on them late with a Emma Wenner goal. And that should give them confidence coming back home playing a team like Wake Forest. Wake Forest at one point was ranked 10th this year. They did drop a game to Mississippi State, so they're now 17th. But over the last, this year with the small sample size and last year, they have been a much better team at home than on the road. Wake Forest 0-1 in their only road game this year. And for the Cougars, I've talked about a lot how great they were at home last year. And even though they're 0-1 at home this year, certainly their performance against South Carolina, it seems like early returns though, this is going to be a team that again is going to be really good and really tough to score on at home. And their defense might have to come through with their best effort yet of the season to give them a shot. So here we go. Cougars in the maroon going left to right on your screen. The Wake Forest Demon Deacons are in black. So both teams are only starting 2 midfielders. going 4-2-4, both teams, so should make for an interesting matchup. As the Cougars had the ball, got it deep in, and now will take it back out to control. It's Lily Ray, who's going to try to send it deep to Antonio, who heads it back, looking for Fate Slimmer. Fate Slimmer a year ago having a terrific season. Most goals by a Cougar player in a season in the last 6 years. And she did get her first score of this year in the 3-0 win at Houston Christian. That's taken by Avery Nacetta. And she'll go back with it. It's a Wake Forest team that, as far as offensively, they lost a lot of what they had that carried them last year. Defensively, they returned a lot, but offensively, their top 3 goal scorers all gone. Their leading returning goal scorer is Sierra Sight, and she had 4 a season ago. She's already got 2 this year as well. Kind of a defender, even though she's a defender, definitely a big offensive impact. The other player on offense Cougars got to watch for is the freshman for Wake Forest, number 31, Kylie Maxwell. She's already got 2 goals and 2 assists this season. An incredible start to her career. And there was a whistle, so it'll be a free kick. Slimmer gives way to Tubia. Tubia, the only player in the Cougar starting lineup who's actually a newcomer, transferred over from Kansas State this year. Passing back and forth between Folks, Nacetta, and to Heffernan. Ray makes a nice move, but cannot find anybody. Trying to make a tough pass to Winner. So throw in for Wake Forest deep from their own end. Looking around. And Hannah Johnson tries to send it way up for Lola Resler. Well, it is cleared out. Back and forth between the goalkeeper and the defenders. Emma Stankunas, she has made a big leap this year after only playing, a few games, a few minutes in some games last year. She's been a big part of the defense this year's team. Again, Cougars deny him up at the middle, and now some nice passes to try to start something on the other end. Slimmer is able to get by a couple defenders on her own. Can't pass it deep. Was looking for Heffernan. Right back to the Cougars. He'll throw it in. You are going to have the issue today that we see sometimes with games at this time where you have the shadows, a big factor. Usually harder when you go left to right. As Ray is fighting for the ball along with Allie Flanagan, and a foul is called against Lily Ray. So first deep free kick of the game for Wake Forest. Sight sends it, but now they're going to make her do the free kick again, as Lily Ray is still arguing with the official, and Christian Mitchner said something as well. I couldn't quite tell if he was talking to Ray or the official, but obviously right in front of that sideline. Free kick in, and the Cougars do a good job getting it out. A lot of quick throw-ins so far this game. Both teams seem very energized and ready to go. Neither team has gotten a shot attempt yet or really even gotten close. Ray is able to save that pass. Now we'll get things going. Up ahead to Slimmer, to Wenner. And a nice defensive play made by Scythe. Boy, Sierra Scythe, she really just does just about everything for Wake Forest. And now here they go on the counter. Hannah Johnson tries to cross it in. No Deacons are there, but the pass by the Cougars goes right out back to Scythe. Finds a teammate, but way on the side, so no clear shot yet for Wake Forest. Trying to come back in. And Cougars are going to be able to take this the other way and counter. Antonio looks like she's down, but luckily getting up as Heffernan is going to take this coast to coast. Just about. Back to the middle, Slimmer. Cougars have a few numbers, might have a shot. Nacetta trying to maintain her balance. Ultimately is knocked away. And Wake Forest will get it back. So it seems like early on we've had a game that just hasn't had a lot of stoppages yet. As a nice move is made there by Flanagan. Both teams have been trying to, really test the other side, force some difficult passes upfield. I think both teams know that this is going to be a game that, goals, and you never know how these games are going to go, but you would guess, just based on the team's resumes, goals are going to be at a premium. There's a very good possibility that the first one could be the winner. The goal kick from Valentina Amaral. One makes its way back to the Cougars. Nacetta is going to try another difficult pass. This one, Wenner's going to have a chance to get to it. Gets it back into the box. Not quite going to find its way to Antonio. And it looks like that was Addison Roberts who got in the way, preventing what might have been a really good shot by Bella. Cougars have done an impressive job so far, though. They've had a lot of possession in the Wake Forest half of the field. Stankonis takes it up and shoots it forward and is rejected, but gets it back. And there goes Slimmer. Already good sign the Cougars have gotten her involved a few times. Saw a few games last year where she was just, so covered. They couldn't get it to her. Now Wenner has the ball to her in some space. Tries to cross it back now right to the goal, and it is saved. Not sure if she was trying to cross it or take an angled shot, but Valentina Amaral comes up with it. Amaral, well, she was our player to watch. As you take a look at this play again, that was from a bit earlier, and then, so this was Slimmer. Caroline Folks with the pass, which kind of a lucky bounce. It was actually Nacetta who made the really good through pass that gave the Cougars their first scoring chance. So shot on goal for the Cougars and a save for Valentina Amaral. Amaral, redshirt sophomore from Oviedo, Florida, actually born in Brazil to a professional soccer player or footballer, Leandro Amaral. Last year, she set a program record for Wake Forest with .69 goals allowed per game. And probably the most valuable, perhaps, of all the pieces they returned from their team last year that made it all the way to the championship and was defeated 1-0 by North Carolina. Now Wake slowing it down a little bit, passing it in their own end. You know, the Cougars, especially Antonio and Wenner, like to play that aggressive press defense. A couple players hit the ground, but it's a play on. Heffernan cleans it up and keeps the possession going. Wenner trying to get it back to the middle, and a clean steal by Ressler, but couldn't get it to Flanagan. And not very high passing accuracy right now for either team. Seen a couple of times where balls just kind of been passed back and forth to the other side. A little bit of space there. Once again, here's the pressing effort by Antonio. That's Di Natale. Who's going to send it way up to Sipe. And just, you can see Sipe right there, you know, going all the way up for the attack, and now on defense, dropping all the way back. And she just moves so far over the field. Trying to force her to the sideline, gets it up, stopped. Wenner. Couldn't tell if that was deflected or just misdirected. It was deflected. It did look like it changed direction, so it'll be a throw in for the College of Charleston. Cougars will take a little bit of time to get it set up. Lily Ray does a lot of the throwing in when she's in the game. From the corner, back out to Slimmer. Heffernan can't get it. Is beaten on the challenge by Johnson. Actually, that might have been Miller. Wake Forest again, just being patient. Maybe tried early in this game to force some passes, and now they're going to maybe try to be a little bit more deliberate with the ball. But as I say that, pass to the middle, looking for a bounce here, but Stankunas sends it back out, and then the speed of Niceta there. They're not going to let Wake Forest get anything easy. Antonio on the press again as Roberts, Di Natale, and Amaral just passing it back and forth. Cougars have it deep in Wake Forest territory again. Nice move by Antonio to somehow keep it away from Flanagan. Now gets it back. Winning the one-on-one battle, and there was a whistle there. Really good draw by Antonio. Rachel Wright is called for the foul. And the Cougars will have a free kick from pretty deep. Either Antonio or Wenner can take it. And Cougars will get some of their defenders near that penalty box line. Antonio sending it a little too far in. No Cougar was close to it. Will make its way all the way back to Tubia. And now Tubia's got it again. That was actually a clean play. Nice one by Ressler. Ressler, who has a goal this season, Wake Forest. had a pretty balanced offense this year in the season they've had, which they've had 7 goals for and just 2 against in 5 games played. Cougars are 5-5 so far in terms of goals scored to goals against in 4 games played. Flanagan will try to take it, but Heffernan all over her. And so far, the Cougar defense played a very sound game early on. Just some of the passing. It's going to have to find ways to get through this very good Wake Forest defense. Denatale is going to hold off for a bit. But looking for Flanagan a lot. As this one gets back to Niceta. He's going to try to set it up for Folks. Cuts back in and is saved. Actually, that was Bubbles Dever, excuse me, number 4. A yellow card is shown. It was a play on yellow card, but they did show it to somebody. And that was a really good shot in terms of just the chance right there by Dever. And Valentina makes the save. First corner kick of the game will be taken by Bubbles Dever. Or no, Dever is there. It's actually going to be taken by Antonio. Dever is there as a check down, but Antonio will send it in the box. Making its way outside. And again, just really doesn't get close to any Cougar. Trying a way outside shot. That was Caroline Folks, number 7. At that point, that was maybe the only thing left, but couldn't get there. So all time, this is only the 4th time these 2 teams have met. And Wake leads the all-time series 3-0. Well, a couple of those meetings in overtime, which we don't have anymore in the regular season. They met one time in Charleston, which was back in 1998. So this is a really historic match. Some of the home games that gotten this season on both sides have been amazing. As you see there, 2nd-ranked opponent in 5 days. And then they had South Carolina earlier in the year. Wrestler has been involved in just about everything, and a really nice play there to take it away from Ray and totally flip the field. Right now, the Cougars have had 3 shots, 2 on goal. Wake Forest, nothing. Shooting this one through, Dever trying to work her way around. Is she too deep? She is. Oh, Valentina Amaral challenged Dever, charging out of the goal, and actually was able to make it work. Dever getting around her, just had too much steam and was too deep in to get it back out. That's one the Cougars are going to want to have back, but they've already had a few chances this game to score against one of the toughest defenses and toughest goalkeepers to score on. And here they go again. Slimmer. Cougars are starting to look like the crisper team. Wenner still has it in the box. Cross is kicked out of there by Roberts. Back to Folks. Sends it to her check down in Dever. Back to Folks. Looking to maybe try one from the outside. Instead gives it back to Slimmer. Cougars going to be patient with this one. Cougars have, so far this game, whenever they've been patient, they've gotten some chances in the open field when they've just waited for it. See if they can get one again. Ray tries to send it up, and yeah, there again. just being in the right place at the right time is Nicetta. Heffernan fighting her way to the ball. As the lights are now on here at Patriots Point. That wasn't anything with your screen. You just saw that. As looks like it's going to be another corner kick for the Cougars. So 2 corners for the Cougars. 3 shots, 2 shots on goal. Wake just has no offensive stats throughout the game. They got that 1 free kick deep, but that's about it. This time Antonio will check it straight down. Folk to the box. It is knocked away. Heffernan was there, couldn't get to it. Maggie Heffernan's another player who's, you know, a defender, but involved on offense. Now here come the Demon Deacons. Finally, Wake Forest was able to get the ball to their freshman star Maxwell. Really more by accident than anything, and Cougars were able to take it away from her, but now Maxwell's got it back. And is going to have it taken away from her by Folks. So Cougars have it, trying to space it out more. They send it all the way back to their own end. So Wake Forest right now, you know, they do look like a team that maybe does not play as well on the road, and playing against a Cougar team that, I don't want to say plays much better at home, because they had a decent road trip going 1-1-1. That one loss being at ranked Texas. So we know how good they've been at home. And now here they go, some space again. Nicetta is going to try to shoot it. Gets deflected. They had a nice play there by Tubia, who takes it away from Johnson without fouling her. Emma Wenner cuts to the left. Now is Heffernan on sides. Either way, can't get it to her. Tough pass with both players moving in different directions and not facing each other. If she was on sides, that maybe could have been a chance. But that was a tough play. Heffernan does have a goal this season. Got one.
Appreciate it. I'll share when I feel like.
I got one in the game at Houston Christian. By the way, just to clarify, Texas was not ranked.
Not on purpose.
When we played, they were ranked in the preseason. Remember, we're doing our first broadcast against South Carolina. We showed the rankings, and we were talking about how many of the teams that the Cougars were going to play early in the year. But, of course, the rankings are ever changing. A lot of good teams, a lot of stacked conferences.
I have no idea.
And that is going to be the first offsides call of the game.
South what? No.
Probably the Cougars' biggest weakness last year offensively.
know.
Just they got a lot of offsides calls.
No, I
Remember
already
how
know how
much
to do that.
Smitty and I talked about that when we were up here. As that's the first one of this game. And we're halfway through the first half, and Wake Forest still really does not have any chances on offense. And right back to the Cougars again. Antonio with a nice pass to Heffernan. Now sends it through from the left side. Is stopped as offsides anyway. And now the Cougars are starting to fall back into the same habits that they had been trying to break out of. And maybe Wake Forest has found something and found a way to trap them, kind of force them to go offsides. But 2 offsides calls in the span of about 2 minutes. That's not what you want to see if you're Coach Michener. Heffernan Antonio tries to go up for it. Can't quite get the positioning to do that. Near the sideline, stays in bounds. Wake Forest, they're just looking for one, big counterattack. I can't think of a time in this game where they've had the ball for 20 seconds at a time without Cougars getting a body on it somewhere. Nacetta, she's had the ball a lot, been in the middle of everything, but can't make a clean pass to Wenner. Wake defenders, they've been beaten a couple of times, but at times they have stepped up and made some big plays when they've had to. Addison Roberts, number 3, she has oftentimes been the last line of defense and made another stop right there. Haven't talked about Ainsley Chun very much because aside from the occasional ball rolling to her, being passed back to her like that, she hasn't really needed to be a factor in this game with no shot attempts. Heffernan got a little stunned there. Maybe everybody was expecting a call, but none came. But Maggie gets it back and tries to take it away. Is locked in a stalemate of sorts here with Carly Wilson. And they're going to call the foul on Heffernan. As we're under 20 to go in the first half. And a game that just has flowed very nicely. Hasn't had a lot of stoppages. 3 fouls total, but both teams in general have been throwing and kicking it quickly whenever they've gotten the chance. Folk steps in front of it and tries to get it the other way. Nacetta to Wenner, who can't receive it cleanly. Again, Wake Forest, since that last shot attempt, the defense has started to become a little better and not giving the Cougars some of these clean opportunities that they've had. And it looked like a handball, but no, it's actually going to be called against Tubia. I don't know, that looked close to a handball there with Scythe falling, but she was able to stay away from it. And now the free kick. No teammates there, but not a great clear out by Charleston as they're going to give Wake another throw. And as we get our first substitutions of the game, Wake Forest trying to just inject some energy into this offense. So Wright and Johnson will come out of the game. And looks like Talia Zadian will come in and Alejandra Gomez will come in. Cougars haven't made any subs at all yet. They've still gone with their starting 11. And nearly the bounce that Wake needed, but Lily Ray denies that. Just about every Cougar has been involved this game with something. Good box out job by Wake Forest there. Make sure that Heffernan couldn't get to that ball. Or Dever, actually, that was. You know, while Wake Forest might not be the most explosive offense this year, they've scored at least once in every game. You know, 8 goals in 5 games so far this year.
I'm like the worst multitasker.
Cougars thought they had the ball back to me. A Wake Forest throw in. And it'll be Scythe who throws it in. Scythe, whose name we haven't really called a lot since the first few minutes. Tubia and Antonio try to start a counter. Wenner, triple team, but is able to get it out of there. Heffernan now has a little bit of space in the middle. She's got to send it as well, and the pass goes wide, just sent out of bounds. Passed it a little bit off target with that pressure there. And another substitution for Wake Forest as Natale will come out of the game, and Taryn Chance will come in. A defensive substitution made by Wake Forest. Wake is trying to have what would be one of their most extended possessions. It seems like right now, just the longest stretch they've had the ball. There's the far cross, goes too high and far. Able to save it at the very end is Miller.
Yeah.
Working on the sideline, nowhere to go but back with it. But still, Wake Forest has got to be at least a little happy to actually have an extended possession with a lot of completed passes in a row.
So I think so. I think I have
And
like
Chance
6 this month.
makes a nice move, but then the pass too far, which looked like just kind of a
It's easy
basic
'cause I have a car,
pass.
so I can sign up for it.
Chance couldn't get it to Gomez.
Camry, 2005.
And now she
She's
will
a little
throw it
sports-
in
Little V6, little spoiler.
as
whatever. I know.
looks like Flanagan will come out of the game. And Chloe Burst will come in. So Chloe Burst, she's normally been a starter this year, but this is actually the first time we've seen her as this one is in the box. There was a chance right there for Burst. Wow, so Chloe Burst gets right in the game and immediately gets Wake Forest's first shot attempt. As Antonio now on the counter, the Cougars have some space. Will Bella take a shot? She cuts in and is denied. Talia Zadian was not going to let Antonio get a clear chance there. Fulks makes the play again. Cougars have had a lot of these stolen passes lead to these counter chances. Wenner deflected it, but it's going to stay in bounds. Deflected it off the defender. Cougars trying to keep them trapped in the corner here. Well, if they can get a steal here, that would be not good for Wake Forest, as Amaral has been gotten away from her goal. But the Deacons still have it. Some tense passes back and forth. That one making its way up to Maxwell. They're going to throw in for Wake Forest. So Ainsley Chun, she did register her first save of the game on the shot by Burst. I was looking a lot about Chloe Burst before the game. She is like, you know how they list like family members who play sports. As this ball makes its way close to the goal, but then just kind of sails past it. Cougars got to clear it.
Adorable.
And Swimmer and Wenner nearly do, but Gomez gets in the way. Now Burst, she had like 7 different relatives that have played or are playing sports that were listed. Another interesting fact about Burst is that last year when she played and didn't play in a ton of games, but her entire season last year, she was 17 years old. So she's 18 this year in her second year. Youngest player to ever play a game for Wake Forest. And imagine one of the youngest in the country at that time. Back to Antonio. Loses her balance a little, but doesn't lose the ball. The Cougars get a shot off. That one is just wide. So that bubbles Dever again. Getting an opportunity. Oh, Devers made some nice moves. She just has not been able to finish.
Substitution for the College of Charleston. Now
Cougars, this might be the game where all it might take is one for either side. And now the Cougars will make their first substitutions. Everybody's been working so hard, as Dever and Antonio in particular, they definitely have. So they'll take a rest now. Trying to see who came in the game. Well, eventually we'll find out. Just kind of scanning the field for now. As right now, still in the corner, Winner trying to get back to Nocetta near the middle. And right there, well, there's one of the players who just came in, Maggie Wadsworth. Nearly had a shot. Now here's one from the outside directly to the keeper. Another save made. Didn't have to move very far, but reliably there is Amaral. So Maggie Wadsworth, grad transfer from Mississippi State, ironically the team that just upset Wake Forest to knock them down a bit in the rankings. And I'll tell you what, that game and the start of this one has got to have Wake Forest a little bit concerned that they're going to have to come out and play better when they come on the road. The Cougars getting some players rest here near the end of the first half, getting some fresh legs in. Heffernan and Wenner come out of the game. Ellie Stewart, the freshman, gets her first action. And Millie Cluxton, sophomore from Cincinnati, made a big impact a year ago as a freshman as the year went on. He's in the game as well. By the way, Shea Vidovic was the other player who came in. Vidovic, often a starter, but came in about 7 minutes ago in the first substitution. Wake Forest still has it, and now Burst is going to be denied a shot attempt. What a play by Stan Kunis. That was a dangerous pass, dangerous in a good way for Wake Forest from Kylie Maxwell. Look at how she gets this ball. Looks like Burst is going to have a shot. And Stan Kunis saves the day for now for the Cougars. I think that they've got to feel like they've outplayed Wake Forest for a lot of this game as the corner comes in and is headed off too high. I think the Cougars, it would be maybe a little disheartening if they went to the half down a goal, but you know, Wake Forest, they've been starting to kind of accumulate those chances. Still just one shot on goal, but they had a couple of close ones there. Bouncing high, back and forth. Haven't seen a lot of goal kicks this game either. Just kind of the way it's been played so much. I find both teams only starting 2 midfielders each, but a lot of the games just been back and forth as that ball makes its way to the back. Wadsworth was there, couldn't get in time for the finisher. A lot of the goal kicks have been like this too, like just quickly back in. We haven't seen a ton of boomers down the field. Tubia is able to get the clean tackle against Burst. Sight is looking for somewhere to throw it in. She's taking a lot of time. Eventually she's going to have to do something, or the yeah, the officials, they just kind of urge you to, they're like, okay, come on, I don't want to have to call something, but get it in. Stewart lets the ball go off of her there, so Wake Forest going to have it back for now. But then Cougars trying to get in the middle of it. Still can't get it, though. Cluxton and Stewart interrupted the play, but couldn't stop it completely, although they do force back. And now Vidovic, really aggressive one-on-one defense, forcing Wake Forest to get this all the way back to their own end. Sight. Yeah, now without Antonio and Wenner, the Cougars don't have as many as the players that they usually have to press, so Wake Forest can actually be a little bit more relaxed and more deliberate in their defensive end now, and possibly taking advantage of that a little bit. So we'll see if the Cougars can survive a few more minutes till the half, giving those two attackers a rest on the bench, as it's kind of losing her footing there. And that's going to be called offsides, I think, on the Cougars. Actually not really sure what the call was there, but kicking right back in. Oh, they called a foul on Wadsworth. I guess she got a little bit into her there. There's a reason that she slipped. Cougars have been called for 3 offsides this game. Wake Forest, none.
A little bit. Appreciate it.
There was 4 minutes left to go.
Better than sunburn.
Demon Deacon starting to play with a little bit more confidence. You know, really, since Antonio and Wenner have come out of the game,
I'm happy over here then.
Cougars just haven't had the same offensive push. Gotten it down to Wadsworth a few times, but no shots on goal for the Cougars in about 20 minutes of game time. They have had 6 shots overall in this one, though. Oh, I guess there was the shot on goal by Dever. It got saved. As this one makes its way back into the box. And Cluxton is able to get it and start a counter going the other way. And there they go. Slimmer has got it with some of the most space she's had all game. Hanging on to it, Slimmer trying to set up for a shot, losing her balance. Strong defense played right there, as ball will make its way all the way back, pass back by Tubia. Well, Chun's got to get it out of there. Not the most comfortable spot for a keeper. Able to swing it around it the other way, with Ray getting it up to Stewart. And then she gets it taken away. Just over 2 minutes to go. So a point of the game where, both sides might be satisfied to just go to the half scoreless. And, for the Cougars, they're used to having a lot of games like that. But, at the same time, this is always, when we talked about it, this is the time that you can really just change the way the whole game looks. Like right now, the Cougars have outplayed Wake Forest for so much of the first half. Wake Forest could really dishearten them with one. Or the other way around, as there's a shot from the outside to the box. Kicking around a little bit. That goes off the head of Stewart and ultimately finds its way to a Wake Forest defender. Maxwell is able to keep control of it. Jukes around Stankunas and shakes off Ray. Yeah, she shook her off, and when she did eventually lose the ball, they called the foul, I think, on Ray. Clock does keep running, so Wake Forest is going to have to hurry, but they'll get a free kick a little bit past the midfield circle. Scythe will take the free kick. The Wake Forest spread out a lot for this one, so a lot of places to go. Sending it in, headed away by Ray. Swimmer trying to clear it, but she's working 1-on-2. It's a losing battle. But once again, Ray is there to clean it up. It'll be a Cougars throw-in. Burst and Chance had nowhere to go with it. There's one more clear out for the Cougars and should be able to get to the half in this game. And deflected by Wake out of bounds a couple of times. This will just serve to run down what's left of the clock. So at the half, we are tied scoreless as the Cougars have really threatened this great Wake Forest defense and have made a couple of statements against the 17th ranked Demon Deacons. Near the end of the half, Wake Forest started to get back. We'll talk more about it. We'll have stats, we'll have highlights. You're watching on the Charleston Sports Network. Welcome back. We've played a spirited first half so far. No goals yet, but a lot of action as the Cougars are trying to pull off an upset against the defending national runners-up and currently 17th ranked Wake Forest Demon Deacons in the twilight now of the day as the sun is pretty much completely set. A really beautiful night here at Patriots Point. And you see just some of the chances that the Cougars have had. Emma Winter had that shot on goal early that was kind of a statement that Cougars weren't just going to roll over and do nothing all game. That might have been one of the closest ones. Bubbles Dever got involved. She was big, a big factor. That was the one shot on goal right there that Wake Forest had all game by Chloe Burst. Bella Antonio was a big factor in the first half. There was one more play too, and I'm not sure if we have it here, where Dever actually got past the goalkeeper, where Valentina Amaral came up to challenge her and just wasn't able to hang on to control of it and let it go out of bounds through the back end. But yeah, some of the highlights. So no goals yet, but we've had a lot of close chances. We'll be right back, and we'll get you some of the stats and some more stuff we want to show you as well. You're watching on the Charleston Sports Network.
This is the CAA on Flow College.
If you want to change the world, you need to change your world. Breathtaking, wave-making, comfort zone crushing, adrenaline pumping, smile-inducing, community building, thought-altering, horizon broadening change.
Today?
Today, that's enough.
Tomorrow? Who knows?
College of Charleston. Extraordinary happens here.
At TD Bank, we see millions of transactions, but it's the humans behind them that matter most. It's why we're leaders, with guidance and solutions that put people at the center. That's how every TD employee helps make our bank the greet you and your dog by your name, open longer when you need us kind of place. Because believing people matter most is how we're making banking unexpectedly human.
Hendrick. Getting cash for your car is as easy as 1, 2, 3 with Hendrick Buys Cars. Step 1, visit HendrickBuysCars.com. Enter your license plate number or VIN. Step 2, answer some simple questions and receive a cash offer in seconds. Step 3, claim your offer and you're good to go. It's the easy way to sell your car fast. We'll even come and pick it up. Get cash for your car now and you don't have to buy one of ours. Learn more at HendrickBuysCars.com.
At TD Bank, we see millions of transactions, but it's the humans behind them that matter most. It's why we're leaders, with guidance and solutions that put people at the center. That's how every TD employee helps make our bank the greet you and your dog by your name, open longer when you need us kind of place. Because believing people matter most is how we're making banking unexpectedly human.
Return to the field. Score the winning shot. Beat your personal record. Team up with MUSC Health Sports Medicine for all your sports-related injury care and rehabilitation. MUSC Health is the official sports medicine provider for your favorite local teams. From semi-pro athletes to weekend warriors, our sports medicine team provides state-of-the-art injury prevention, treatment, surgery, and rehabilitation for athletes of all ages. Go where the pros go. Schedule an appointment today.
Hendrick. Getting cash for your car is as easy as 1, 2, 3 with Hendrick Buys Cars. Step 1, visit HendrickBuysCars.com. Enter your license plate number or VIN. Step 2, answer some simple questions and receive a cash offer in seconds. Step 3, claim your offer and you're good to go. It's the easy way to sell your car fast. We'll even come and pick it up. Get cash for your car now and you don't have to buy one of ours. Learn more at HendrickBuysCars.com.
You know what's better than one Papa John's pizza? 2 Papa John's pizza for only $6.99 each.
Only at Papa John's, bundle 2 or more Papa Pairings menu items for $6.99 each. Get your favorites for $6.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better get you some Papa John's.
Hey, girl.
Girl! I do not know the name of this girl. What I do know is Neutral is a tasty seltzer made with real vodka and real fruit juice. This one I know. Little orangey. Neutral. Keep it tasty.
And we are back. So let's take a look at some of the first half stats. By the way, we do apologize for some of the technical difficulties we had during the first half, but we should be all good to go now. We didn't miss any goals and should be good for a great second half. So yeah, no goals. Cougars had 6 shots, and Wake Forest only had 2, 3 on goal compared to Wake Forest's 1. 3 saves for Wake Forest and for Amaral, 1 save for Chun. 3 corners for the Cougars, 1 for Wake Forest. I mean, the Cougars dominated a lot of the offensive stats, but you do see 3 offsides, and those did stop a few possessions short. And then 4 fouls as well called on the Cougars compared to just 2 for Wake Forest, although overall we had a very clean game and no yellow cards either way. So we'll look at some polls first. So here is the current top 25 United Soccer coaches entering today. So you see Wake Forest there at number 17. They were ranked a little higher before their first loss. Stanford right now is the top team at 5-0-0. And just look at some of the conferences. I mean, it is dominated by the ACC, the SEC, some Big Ten in there as well. I mean, just the ACC in particular, talking about Wake Forest. I mean, you got 5 out of the top 8 teams all in the ACC right there. And let's just going off of that, take a look at the women's soccer standing. I mean, just about every one of these teams has a winning record. Wake Forest 4-1. That only puts them at 8 out of 17 teams. Yeah, it's a pretty big conference too. And save for NC State, who's gotten off to a rough start there at 0-5-1. Just about everybody else is off to a great start for this season. In the CAA, the Cougars are 6th in the CAA South in terms of overall record. But a couple things to keep in mind. No conference games have been played yet, so none of this really matters that much in terms of positioning and seeding and making the tournament. And the Cougars have played some tough teams so far. They've already played South Carolina and Texas. They drew High Point and got their win against Houston Christian. So even though some other teams have better records than them right now, doesn't necessarily mean anything. I think that right now, everybody around the College of Charleston is still expecting to play very well when we get into conference play, which is coming up pretty soon. So we'll take our final break now. As you're watching on the Charleston Sports Network, be right back with the second half. Back at Patriots Point, the sun has set, the lights are on. Showed this earlier, but we will take one more look, for those of you who missed it, at the series history between Charleston and Wake Forest. They played 3 times before. Wake Forest has won every matchup. First in 1996, the most recent in 2018. played one more time, which was in Charleston back in 1998. So not a long history between these two teams. But the Cougars, so far, are trying to get their first result against Wake Forest as they're halfway through and the score is level at no goals apiece. Just about ready to start the second half here. Let's take a look at both head coaches as they've both been around for a while. Christian Michener is in his 16th season as the Cougars head coach. Big year last year as he got his 100th overall win, and he's up to 108 now. Former alumni of Charleston men's soccer. And he's been a staple of this program for a while. And then for Wake Forest, we talk about their coach in a little bit, but Wake Forest certainly has another coach who's been there a while. And both teams running back on the field now. Yeah, Tony DeLuz of Wake Forest in his 29th season coaching the Demon Deacons. He has had a ton of success there. So ready to start the second half. Wake Forest in the dark will get the ball first. Now going from left to right. Direction won't really matter anymore as the sun all the way set. And no shadows should be a problem in the game anymore. Crowd who has showed up here on a Thursday night, ready to get back into it. Actually saw some videos where I think a few of the Cougar freshmen, this was on their Instagram, the CFC Women's Soccer Instagram, were passing out donuts to students and telling them that they could win a TV if they showed up to the game. I mean, if I was a student on campus, I would have showed up. So I'm hoping that everybody who took a donut at least did show up. Say that. Well, here we go in the second half now. Charleston controlled a lot of the possession. A lot more of their possession was deep in Wake Forest's end compared to the other way around. So far, ball just kind of getting kicked along the sideline. Wake will throw it in from their own end. So, and there is Tony DeLuz, who we do need to talk about. I mean, look at that, 369 wins, 323 at Wake in his 29th year. He coached for 5 years at San Diego. Quick aside, it's the Cougars almost had a chance there. Yeah, class of 1985 San Diego men's soccer, and he has been head coaching and having success for a while. 22 NCAA tournament appearances, and is looking to have another great season this year. Well, so far tonight is running into what's been a little bit of a challenge, perhaps more than expected, as Wake Forest early on maybe showing some signs that they're not as sharp on the road as they are at home. But of course we know the Cougars are kind of the same way and play very well at home. I said right before we started that that was one of the main reasons that a Cougar fan would have hope in this matchup. So Wake Forest, Taryn Chance, who came in as a sub and made a pretty good impact, has stayed in the game. Folks has it and is going to send a pass up ahead to Dever. She was doing a lot and had a few shot attempts on offense. Now she's back in the game. What a pass by Folks up ahead, and the Cougars will get a corner kick just 2.5 minutes into the second half. Now that was Chance who got it away. So now Bella Antonio back in. Quick pass to Dever, and now in the middle to Fulks, who has it taken away. Going to be saved by Slimmer. Cougars still have it, backed up a bit. And the difficult pass through doesn't find its mark. And now Wake Forest trying to push it. They're going to get a chance in the box. One-on-one, scores. The side-to-side counterattack, and just like that, Wake Forest has scored. And was that Maxwell? Or was it Burst? They were both up there. We'll take a look at the replay and confirm who it was who scored. And yep, it was Chloe Burst. Maxwell was there to get a rebound if Chun was to make a difficult save. Tell you what, when Chloe Burst came into this game, it changed a lot. Actually, no. Oh, wait, was that 8 or 9? Now they're crediting it to Eliana Ramirez, who did not play in the first half. But I also don't see her. I don't see her at all listed in the game. See, I thought it was number 8, but either way, it is 1-0. An unassisted goal, too, for Wake Forest. And they just went coast to coast. And we saw them a couple times in the first half. I was talking about how, wow, that would really dishearten the Cougars after controlling so much of the game. And they didn't do it in the first half, but early in the second, Wake Forest has taken the 1-0 lead and now threatening once again in the box. Oh, what a play by Maxwell. The header, that was a chance right there. Bouncing around in the box, back in. Somebody's got to get it out of there. Ray can't. Chance tries to get it around Ray. And we have a whistle. That's just going to be a corner kick. So corner kick will be taken by Sight. Well, that's a good one right in the box next to the goal. A few players there, but bounced away. Takes a fortuitous bounce to Charleston to Antonio, and maybe they've got something up ahead with Wenner. Emma Wenner has amazing speed. As we saw all of last year, her first season coming over to transfer from Clemson gave a new dimension to this C of C offense. Well, the Cougars, though, can't get the throw in cleanly. And a possession will go right back to Wake Forest. For a while in this game, the Cougars were controlling the possession, but really about since the last 10 minutes of the first half to now, it has gone the other way. Wake Forest now in a spot they've been in a lot this year, a 1-0 lead. So far, they haven't lost any game this year that they've had a lead in. Cougars haven't had a comeback victory yet. Their one win this year came in a 3-0 effort at Houston Christian. Compared to the South Carolina game, though, you know, they do have more time left. As Wake Forest scores in the 48th minute. Wake getting it out of there a little slowly, giving the Cougars a lot of time to press as Dever eventually forces a bad pass. And Folk will throw it in. Back to Caroline Folks. Stankunas, a little miscommunication with Faye Slimmer, and that pass just goes out of bounds. A couple of unforced turnovers right now for the Cougars, who have not looked like the same team coming out in the second half. You know, part of that is, you know, Wake Forest, a good team. You expect them to make adjustments. But the Cougars have got to clean up a few things as well. Slimmer working one-on-one against MJ Osborne, who's in the game for the first time. And that was, Cougars are trying to say it was their way, but I think that was definitely deflected off of Folks. Osborne throws it in and somehow finds an open wrestler. Makes his way. Kylie Maxwell can't get a clean pass into the middle. Back to wrestler. Dever had it for a moment, but then back. Osborne passes on the sideline. That is an offsides. Everybody knew it, and the referees immediately make the call. Kylie Maxwell was a good bit behind the offsides line. And a Wake Forest player down on the field right now. Believe that is Lola Wrestler. And hopefully just some cramps and nothing more serious. Both teams will get the opportunity to catch their breath for a bit. As Wrestler gets a hand as she makes her way up. It's been a game without a lot of stoppages. I'm not even sure the clock stopped once in the first half. So Wrestler did get up, but she will come out of the game for now. And they're going to get Allie Flanagan back in the game. Another freshman forward who did have her first goal of the season, actually in the game that Wake Forest lost. She had an equalizer late in the first half against Mississippi State. But in the end, Wake would end up losing that game on a Bulldog game winner about 30 minutes into the second half. Shea Vidovic to throw it in. Nice job boxing out there. I said that was that was Brooke Miller. I got the wrong team 10. Cougars do sometimes wear black. But yeah, Miller, good pass to Flanagan, who was boxing out. And Antonio now has it with some space. Dever is open. Can she come back in to get a shot? Now is going to be tougher as she's defended by two players. Will be knocked out, and the Cougars will get a throw-in. Chance is arguing that it hit off of Dever, but call goes the Cougars' way. Caroline Folks won't try to force it too far up the middle. Heffernan trying to cross it back in, and did this deflect? No, it deflected off of Heffernan last. And a goal kick for Wake Forest. Wake's got it, and now here is the deep press counter that the Cougars have tried and have successfully done a few times. Emma Wenner and Bella Antonio, sometimes Bubbles Dever as well, are the ones who really can do that. as Wake Forest is going to take their time for this goal kick. And this one's going to be boomed down the field, which, again, we haven't seen a whole lot of. Folks was in position to get the deflection, but instead stays, and now Folks does have it. Tries to make a difficult pass to Slimmer. That's not going to work, as sending it up the other way is Chance all the way up into Sierra's sight. On the counter, Cougars got a few players running, but just not enough numbers deep. There's nowhere for Wenner to go. Back to the right side, and no whistle there. And making a cut. Now back the other way. And now we got a whistle. A free kick for Wake Forest deep in the Cougars' territory. You know, one more goal for Wake Forest. Yeah, I don't want to say anything would clinch it, but it would really put the Cougars in what would feel like a pretty big hole. But as long as it's just one, you know, you feel like you have a chance. Free kick will be taken by Sight. Or no, a little fake out. Ball makes its way back to Sight, who saves it from going out of bounds. And forces a corner kick on what looked like it might have been a lost play. The hustle of Sierra Sight and the footwork to keep that ball in bounds enough to get the corner kick. So Sierra will stay over there. She will be the one to take the corner, I believe. Cougars have had 4 corners in this game compared to just 1 for Wake Forest as of now. This is the second for the Demon Deacons. Just a quick pass inside, and now cutting back to the left. Wenner all over her, but Sight gets around her. The header to the goal and bounces around for a moment, but Chun does corral it. And a call was called against Wake Forest anyway. Chloe Burst a little bit too excited on the goalkeeper deflection and just came crashing into Ainsley Chun. So even if Chun hadn't been able to corral it, there wouldn't have been anything there. Yeah, right, you can't do that if you're Chloe Burst. Chloe Burst, who did have the 1 goal this game. Well, would have been in position maybe to get another if she could have planned that out a little better. So now Vidovic will come in for Wenner. Upcoming schedule for the College of Charleston. They'll be at home just a few more days. So much time on the road, so as you might expect, a lot of home games in a row to make up for it. I mean, look at the slate. North Florida, Gardner-Webb, Presbyterian, all within the next 10 days from now. Then conference play. A trip up to the Northeast to start conference play. That's tough to do. So they'll be at Monmouth and at Northeastern on Thursday and Sunday. For Wake Forest, they will come back home and take on Brown. And then they'll start some play in the ACC with games against Miami, Virginia Tech, USC Upstate in the middle. So actually both teams playing USC Upstate. And, oh no, check that. Strike that as the CFC men who are playing USC Upstate next week. And then I have Boston College, Wake Forest's next conference game. So that's what's coming up for both teams this month. Deep throw in for Wake, going to be taken by Brooke Miller. And that ball out of bounds. Wake Forest hasn't had a lot of those unforced bad passes in a while like they were having early in the game. This one will get a goal kick. Chun will send it far to her left where Folks is open, and a nice little play here for the Cougars. Lets them get the ball a bit up the field. Can they hang on to it? Vidovic is there, bouncing off of players of both teams, and now Antonio has it, but the foul was called on either Folks or Vidovic. We saw the Cougar sideline reaction. None of the coaches too happy about the call. And a free kick by Burst. Good defense there by Stankunas, not allowing Kylie Maxwell to get to it. Cougars have done a very good job against some of Wake Forest's biggest threats coming into the game. Kylie Maxwell and Sierra Scythe, neither of them have really had that many dangerous chances. But it's Chloe Burst off the bench, who right now is the hero. Taryn Chance has also come in and had a big impact. A couple of subs for Wake making the big difference right now. Hits the wall on the side. It'll be a throw in for Wake Forest. Cougars have yet to have a shot attempt in the second half. Right now just trying to get the ball out of there, and this might be the chance to do it. As a foul is called on Wake Forest. Ray will set up the free kick, but she won't take it. It'll be Tubas who does. Caitlin Tubia. Oh, what a nice backwards pass as Antonio is going to take a shot deflected right away. Talia Zadayan. She's made a couple of underrated defensive plays as well, a couple of deflections. Zadayan, a freshman from San Diego, California. One of the tallest players on the field as well at 5'10". Couple players slip, but no call. And corner kick for College of Charleston. Didn't seem like much was happening there, but Cougars maybe get a break if they can make something happen. Haven't been able to get great chances off of these corners yet. At least this should give them a chance of possession for a little while, although remember, the last corner kick the Cougars had basically led to Wake Forest's goal. Stankunas heads it high and is an easy catch by the goalkeeper, Valentina Amaral. Rolls it forward. I think the Cougars have to keep playing this aggressive defense with their attackers and midfielders. That has been their best chance so far. Right there, almost get a good bounce off a deflection. Vidovic is all over the play. Looked like a handball, but again, no call. I feel like we've seen that a few times this game. We have had some pretty lenient refereeing, I think. Not a whole lot of fouls called on either team. And now it's going to be Casey Malone coming in the game for Lily Ray. Malone and Ray, both defenders who also play up the midfield a little bit and both do the throwing in. So Malone replacing Ray for now. That one is shot far up the field, and Maxwell once again can't get to it, although looks like Wake is going to be awarded a corner here. Stan Kunis is playing good defense, but ball did go off of her. All the way back down and up again. Sierra Scythe all over the field. Will take the corner from the right side this time. Players coming from outside, crashing the box, but the kick goes too high for anybody. And the Cougars will throw it in from deep in their own corner. About halfway through the second half now. Since the 1-0 lead for Wake Forest, they have kind of gone into more of a defensive first mode, and aside from the one corner a little while ago, have not given up many offensive chances. They've done a lot better of a job passing in the second half. Wake Forest has. They'll throw it in deep from their opponent's end. That's going to be another shot, maybe for Wake. No, Stankunas rejects the pass in the middle. Deacons still have it. Chance is going to be called for offsides. Yeah, that's the one thing they're not very lenient on, although that was the first offsides called against Wake Forest in this game. By the way, they have officially awarded the goal to Chloe Burst. I was a little confused because it was given to Ramirez, who hadn't come in the game yet. Yeah, Chloe Burst, number 8. And when she came in the game in the first half, Wake Forest hadn't had any shots, and she got one within seconds. But an unassisted goal for Chloe Burst, the sophomore out of New Orleans, Louisiana. Throw in for the Cougars. Malone throwing it in now. Sends it far. It's actually the first career goal for Burst. As real quick, our sponsors is broadcast brought to you by TD Bank, by MUSC Health, and by Rick Hendrick Chevrolet. Cougars trying to keep the ball and now have a little bit of space. Good pass to Folks, who gets it over to an open Vidovic. One-on-one against Brooke Miller. Back to Folks. A tough shot that doesn't hook in nearly enough. So for Chloe Burst, that was her first goal of her career, as no problem with that one for Valentina Amaral. Let the pass come back to her and sent it away. But remember, Chloe Burst last year played in 3 games off of the bench. Just 17 years old. Get a lot more playing time this year and gets her first, and now she will come off the field. Surely to a big hand from her teammates. Alejandra Gomez also coming off. As now Elania Ramirez comes into the game for the first time. Another freshman, Wake Forest team. A lot of freshmen who make a big impact. I mean, they lost their top 4 goal scorers from a year ago. That is a tough adjustment to make. Meanwhile, the Cougars, they return almost everybody. And they've lost a few players, like, you know, Delaney Dodds is not here anymore. Shea Yoakum on the defense graduated as well, but for the most part, they've returned almost everybody. Malone again with the long, powerful throw-in. It gets its way behind a few players. Maggie Wadsworth back in. She was the one they were trying to get it up to. Throw in for Charleston as Deborah makes a nice play. Malone again. And she can throw it in with that power. She might be able to get it in the box. Looks like this is what she's going to try to do, setting up for a running start. There's the throw into the box. A bounce and kicked out of there by who else? Sierra Sipe. Back and forth a few times, and now getting free in the middle of the field is Maxwell. Maxwell is going to be denied. Wow, Ainsley Chun, the last line of defense, came up to challenge Maxwell and was able to, let's be real, keep the Cougars in this game. Caitlin Tooby has played really well, but she got beat there. And Ainsley Chun bailed out her defense. That's one that Kylie Maxwell will convert a lot. Not here as the corner gets its way in to Zadian, who, again, a big factor on corners with her height. Another substitution. Deborah takes a quick break, and Emma Wenner back into the game. Emma Wenner is the Cougars' leading goal scorer this year, only one with 2 goals. But neither of them came in the 3-0 win. They actually both came in the other 2 games. The 1-1 draw against High Point and the 3-1 loss to Texas. Cougars trying to clear it out. Folks, nowhere to really go. That's going to be offsides or just go out of bounds. Wake has been caught offsides, out of position a few times here in the second half, but that all came after they got the goal within the first 3 minutes. Again, a goal that started, the possession started on a College of Charleston corner kick, a deflection, and Chloe Burst just basically took at the entire field. Nellie Cluxton is barely able to avoid a handball. And few Wake Forest players getting a bit frustrated. Clock will stop at 15:43. Cougars, not a lot of free kicks that they've really had to work with, but they'll get one here. And yeah, they'll get it in a pretty good spot too. Caitlin Tubia still has not found the right spot yet. And I think she finally got it right. Referee's trying to communicate with her from way far away, you know, like forward, back. It's kind of interesting. Because you don't see that in any other sport where, you know, usually the ref will just come and spot it themselves. Cougars have it for a bit, but now Wake's going to send it the other way. Big trouble now, coming back to the middle. The shot and the goal. Wake Forest puts the exclamation point with their second goal. Allie Flanagan was in a position.
Wake Forest rejected me, so I was really hoping they would lose.
Knew right as soon as she got the ball, I said, that's trouble. And
Very
Flanagan, the freshman, gets her second goal of the season. And unlike her last goal, I was hoping that this one can come in a win. So the young players for Wake Forest making a big impact offensively in this game, and that's what they're going to need as this year goes on. Flanagan was really held in check in the first half. She started this game, only her second start of the year, and honestly didn't play all that well, to be honest, and she just wasn't able to really keep many possessions going. When Chloe Burst came in for her, that's when Wake really started turning it around. But then Flanagan comes back in the game and gets the second goal. So all's well that ends well for everybody for Wake. And there's now the Cougars just trying to get something. Carly Wilson hangs on to it for a while, and Wake Forest with 14 minutes to kill. Just a lot of space right now. Nobody even challenging right now for the Cougars. You know, early in this game, it seemed like the Cougars had more of the energy and maybe wondered did they use all of it too soon. As just a few players that seem like they're getting a little bit tired, and you know, a game like this with so much back and forth. Allie Flanagan, freshman from Round Hill, Virginia. Another one of those tall players at 5'10". Cougars can't get that pass in, just goes through the legs of Wadsworth. Well, it's taken back the other way. Casey Malone makes a nice play to step in front. Folks has it. Can she get a shot off without getting deflected? She does, but it's going to go wide of the net. Nice play by Casey Malone to start something there. So goal kick by Valentina Amaral. Has continued her stellar career and stellar season. 4 for 4 in saves today. Amaral was one of the best goalkeeping prospects, you know, from a soccer family out of Brazil. Leandro Amaral, who played on Brazil's, I believe he played on the national team for a bit. I'd have to check again, but definitely a professional soccer player over there. Amaral was great last season in a run to the national championship, and perhaps the best player that Wake Forest had returning to this year. Under 12, or just over 12 to go. Ainsley Chun, who made 2 saves this game, and then did give up 2 goals. In both cases, not, you know, terribly on her. Especially that first goal. I mean, she just didn't have a chance. There were 2 Wake Forest players there that had gotten behind all of the defense. Even if she had saved that one, probably would have been knocked in by Maxwell. Millie Cluxton back in now. Faith Swimmer, who made a big impact in the first half, but in the second half, she's been covered pretty well by Wake Forest. Trying to get it deep to Wenner. She'll just fall to the ground. And Wake Forest has it back. Back to the middle, a pass, and a whistle. And a foul was called against Wake Forest. But I don't look like Vidovic was going to have a chance there. I wonder why they stopped the middle of that play. Well, either way, the Cougars are going to have a free kick. Probably their best positioned one so far. See what they can do off of this play. Emma Wenner to take the free kick. Deflected, and an easy save for Amaral.
Wait, what? Nah, I like tennis. I played last summer a lot.
As Wake Forest will continue to just
No, I
clear
haven't.
the ball. Well, they don't do it very well here, though. Cougars get it back. Cluxton is beaten to the punch on that last one, though, and now she
I'm wearing
takes a bit to
Converse,
get up.
that's good enough. I don't have tennis shoes besides like some random Adidas.
Clock
and these.
will stop as.
I've never played before.
Actually, that's not Cluxton. That's Emma Wenner. Or no, that's Swimmer.
I
Eventually
think
got
I
it
played
right.
once or twice when I was in like elementary.
A couple more subs coming in for the Cougars. Lily Ray
I'm bad at it, but it's fun.
will come back out of the game, and getting in for the first time will be Sienna Petro. So let's take a look at the play of the game. Stonewall denial by Ainsley Chun.
I play a lot of
I
random
mean, this
sports,
is,
and I'm kinda just
you know, I think everybody thought this was going to be a goal right away.
I like bowling.
And
for fun.
somehow
I just play a lot of
one-on-one
sports.
against maybe Wake Forest's best attacker, Kylie Maxwell. You know, Cougars, it's looking like it's going to be a loss, but they had a few big plays, and that was definitely one of them. Ainsley Chun, even with some goals given up in the last two games now, continues to be a positive. Can't get that pass over to Folks, and now going the other way. Flanagan again gets it back to the middle, is cleared away. Caitlin Tubia right in front of the net had to, no choice but to clear it high up and over. Both teams emptying their benches a little bit more now. Corner kick for Wake Forest. Both the Wake Forest goals have been, you know, in the flow of the game. One of them was off of a Cougar corner kick, and the other one just off of a good taking advantage of a chance by Flanagan. No assists this game as this one is headed in the box off the top shelf and is actually gotten out of there and eventually in the net. And it's going to be disallowed. I think that somebody in there might have been Folks, but can't quite tell who it was, but it looked like a ball got past the keeper, and one of the Cougar defenders was able to save it out. A lot of action there. No goals for now. Wake again in the middle of the box, trying to force it through. And a little too physical. Finally, a call is made. These referees this game, they haven't liked to call a lot. Yeah, so let's take a look at this in the middle. Yeah, look at Vidovic right there. Shea Vidovic had the save. Now it may not have mattered eventually because they did eventually blow the play dead, but good job by Shea Vidovic with the impromptu goalkeeping. Free kick. Wake, they haven't tried a lot of, you know, deep free kicks. A lot of them just like that. And Alejandra Gomez's shot is blocked by Vidovic, and now the Cougars will empty their bench a bit. And almost completely. About 4 or 5 subs coming in at one time now. Lily Ray back in and Ellie Stewart back in the game. Malone challenging against Hannah Johnson. By the way, Johnson actually is the tallest player on the field for either team at 5'11". She started the game, but then hasn't been a factor much since the first few minutes. Just over 7 to go. Miller throws in. Nice play by Vidovic, who's made a few nice plays in this game since coming in. Cougars see if they can find a way to get one through, as they did in the game at Texas, where they were down 3 goals, and they were able to get one late with Wenner, although that came in the 62nd minute of the game. A lot later now. Cougars do have the same thing that kind of worked against them in the Texas game, where they gave up a goal very early in the first half and very early, 2 goals very early in the second half. Kind of happened here again with Wake Forest scoring just a few minutes into the second half. Six minutes to go. Cougars still looking for their first home goal of the season. Had some tough opponents that they've had to do it against. This is a far cry from last year when they started against South Carolina State and scored 7. But it's looking like there's a chance that it may have to wait for next week against North, or next week, 3 days from now, this Sunday, against North Florida, if they can't get something in the last 5:30. Cougars have outshot Wake Forest this game, unbelievably, 9-6 overall. Shots on goal are 5 apiece. And they have forced the goalkeeper to make 5 saves, although the 2 saves she's made this half, Amaral, have both been pretty routine ones. Malone with the throw in, tried to get it to Cluxton. Cougars can't keep control of it. Stankunas, and there's a foul called on Wake Forest. Haven't seen a ton of those, but Malone was tripped up by Johnson. Yeah, Izzy Arnold in the game for the first time, number 11. And ball will go back the other way as we get a stoppage here. And another sub. Chloe Burst back into the game for Hannah Johnson. 4:23 to go. Taryn Chance to throw it in. A low throw, Stewart, nice job to keep it in. And stepping right into the middle of it there is Hope Slimmer, the other player that came in. Apologies, forgot to get to her sooner with the kind of 5 subs at a time. Near the corner. Trying to get out of there. Maybe force a corner kick, but not going to happen. Does make its way back. Thinking about taking a shot away from the outside is Ray. Instead holds on to it, and now we'll check it back. Lily Ray, a senior. Amazing, it's the last year of the Ray family here at the College of Charleston. Her older brother, Alden Ray, started on the men's team in 2019. Now here in 2025, the younger sister, Lily Ray, a senior. Nice move by Wadsworth as tries to get it up, run to the ball. Not going to be enough time to get to it. And a goal kick for Wake Forest. The clock stopping because Wake Forest is initiating the substitutions. Sammy Weeman will come into the game, and MJ Osborne will come back into the game for Allie Flanagan and for Addison Roberts.
Jazz player, so he plays everything.
Headed high into the air by Stewart and received by Wake Forest. Cougars maybe a couple more chances. But Wake's defense has gotten stronger. They made a few sloppy plays early that let the Cougars get some open looks. And maybe just a couple in the first half they'd like to have back. They did a lot of good things against a ranked team, but just a couple chances. Maybe could have made the game go differently. Hope Swimmer is able to get it to the side, but her and Stewart can't keep it in bounds. Cougars still aggressive, not giving up. It's always good to see. Even as that deep kick is going to knock off some more time. Will be a throw in for Charleston though, as Ray sends it high, and we'll get right back to it. Trying to quick throw in, but directly off of the head of a Wake Forest player. Petro and Wadsworth with headers to try to send one in, but scooped up by the keeper. And a booming goal kick there, or kick by the goalkeeper. Wake Forest trying to just keep it on this side for the last minute. I think when Wake Forest scored that second goal, you know, not that it was over, but I think that really just, you know, with the way that this Wake Forest team is now, on their way to their 5th clean sheet in 6 games this year. Didn't feel like it was going to be very realistic for the Cougars to beat that defense twice.
That one.
As doesn't look like they're going to be able to do it once. Corner kick for Wake Forest. Trapped in the corner, but this is just running off some more time right now. Be a free kick from deep into the corner. About 6 different players from both teams bunched up there. And finally gets one out. Wadsworth is able to keep it, and Cougars might have one more little run here in them. Wenner, shot from way outside, and it's gonna bounce high, and another save on the stat sheet for Valentina Amaral. That will do it. 2-0 is the final. 17th ranked Wake Forest wins in Charleston, improving to 5-1. The Cougars hang tough for a while, but eventually Wake Forest is too much. 2-0 the final. We'll be right back with our final highlights and stats here on the Charleston Sports Network. Well, Wake Forest came into Charleston and got the win. It was a little bit rough for a while, but they did it. And the player of the game is Allie Flanagan, who had the goal that really was the dagger, as so eloquently described. Made it 2-0. And 2 goals, both. Well, no, they weren't both unassisted. Lola Ressler did assist on the Flanagan one, but just a really nice play. She set it up, shot to the top right corner, and that really clinched it for Wake Forest, as the Cougars did manage 10 shots in the game, including 6 shots on goal. Actually, it's funny, they had the one the last second that counted, so that actually gave them more shots on goal this game than Wake Forest had. But they just couldn't get one in. Had really their best chances in the first half. But yeah, Cougars, we'll see them again in a few days. 3 days from now to be exact. And now we will look at the final stats. As I said, Cougars outshot Wake Forest, outshot them on goal. But 6 saves made by Valentina Amaral. 3 saves made by Ainsley Chun, but did concede 2 goals. 7 corners for Wake Forest. They really extended that in the second half. I think it was 3-1 at the end of halftime in favor of the Cougars. Offsides, Cougars did do a good job not getting called for offsides in the second half. And fouls, 7-7 apiece. It felt like there weren't even that many called, but I guess there just weren't any major fouls. No yellow cards for either team. A pretty clean game. So we'll take one last look at the highlights. And right there, that was the play I wanted to see at halftime. The first one you just saw with Dever. Looked like she had a chance to get around the keeper and then just ran out of real estate. But yes, this game, which started in the last of the daylight, continued on to the night. Wake Forest, a 2-0 victory. We'll see you back here on Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock, when the Cougars take on North Florida. I've been Luke Gerasati, and you've been watching on the Charleston Sports Network and Flow Sports. Thank you to our great broadcast team and everybody who makes this possible. See you next time, and have a great rest of your night.